Welcome to In the Know with the Stafford SO, a podcast of the Stafford County Sheriff's Office that focuses on cops, community, and everything in between. If you want to know more about law enforcement life and times just south of our nation's capital, then you're in the right place. Stay tuned for In the Know with the Stafford SO.
Welcome to episode 4 of In the Know with the Stafford SO. I am Kathy Volbrecht, your host for today. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are continuing our series on the Stafford Sheriff's Office Summer Interns. We featured 3 of our interns in early June, and our second group started on July 1st. I would like to welcome Ryan Lyle, Brandon Mello, and Elliot Osborne. Welcome to In the Know with the Stafford SO. So we are going to spend some time today getting to know each of our interns, but I want to start first with a quick overview of the program because you may know a college student who is interested in law enforcement, and this could be a great opportunity for them. The Sheriff's Office intern program is open to residents of Stafford County who are enrolled in a college or university. The program runs from late May or early June through August of each year, and it's about 6 weeks long. Interns work 3 days a week for about 8 hours a day. All of our interns are rotated through the various divisions of the Sheriff's Office to observe, understand, and experience the functions of the Sheriff's Office and its roles and responsibilities. So that's a quick overview of the program. Now it's time to talk about each of you. Why don't we start off with you introducing yourselves? If you could each take a few minutes and tell our listeners your name, your high school from which you graduated, the college you're enrolled in, and your major. And Brandon, we'll go ahead and start with you.
Thank you for having us here. So my name is Brandon Mello. I graduated from Colonial Forge High School last year. I currently enrolled in the University of Tampa, and I major in management.
Okay. And Elliot, how about you?
My name is Elliot Osborne. I'm currently a rising senior at the University of Lynchburg, majoring in criminology, and I graduated from Colonial Forge in 2016.
Okay. And Ryan?
My name is Ryan Lyle. I graduated from Forge in 2016 as well. I'm majoring in criminal justice and currently attending Liberty University.
Okay. We are going to talk a little bit about your educational background, but I wanted to ask you, so it's July, you've been here for over a week. Tell me your preliminary impressions of the Stafford Sheriff's Office. And Elliot, we'll start with you.
First off, I'll just say I've been very proud of what I've seen the Sheriff's Office do here so far because it seems like they mesh very well together and they're very fluid and very organized, and that's very important in law enforcement because if you have an organization that's unorganized, nothing's really going to get done. And I would say that's the biggest thing I've just seen is the organization being organized, and that helps it flow very well from everything I've seen so far.
Is it what you expected, or is it something different?
I would say it's definitely what I expected, if not more than what I expected in a good way. There's small, medium, and large organizations of law enforcement, and this is more of a medium to large, I would say. And for the size of it, I would say it's very good and running very good.
Ryan, how about you? What have you your impressions been so far?
I've been very impressed so far with Stafford County Sheriff's Office. I'm constantly surprised at how well everything's structured and very professional. It's just high quality of an organization.
And how about you? Is it what you expected, or is it a little bit different?
I'd say I'm just impressed every day. It's been a very positive experience, and I guess it's better than expected for a police organization.
And Brandon, what were your first impressions?
Yeah, just like Elliot and Ryan said, it's a very professional and organized agency, and I think that's what I've seen here in the past week and a half. It's just very professional and organized, and everyone here is kind to you. That's what you need in law enforcement. You need to be professional so that way you can engage with the community and stuff like that.
Right. Now, I know you've only been here for a week, and we did have a holiday last week, but I know you also have very full schedules. So talk a little bit about what you have done so far. And I know you're not out there on the streets yet. I know you'll get that opportunity, but what have you done so far since you've been here? Go ahead, Brandon.
So our first day was a little bit of orientation, and then we went and sat in with dispatch, the Emergency Communications Center. That was eye-opening just to see how diligent these dispatchers work. From call to call, it's just endless, and they have to quickly work to gather the information and dispatch it out to the officers. So it was just amazing to see that.
Okay. Ian, Elliott, what about you? What have you done so far?
Well, just yesterday we got to tour the Rappahannock Regional Criminal Justice Academy and get to see how that works and how they train their cadets and everything. And it was amazing to see that Rappahannock, so close to Stafford, houses so many surrounding counties. And I would say there's at least 10 to 15 counties that use that facility to train their future officers or deputies. And that was pretty amazing to see that was so close to home. And I was pretty proud to see that.
Okay. Ryan, has there been something that you've done that hasn't been mentioned yet?
Yes, I believe last Monday, or was it Monday? Animal control.
Okay.
Yeah, we toured that facility, the new facility, and got to ride along with a animal control officer, and just to see how they operate and keep the county safe from various animals. We learned a lot about how the feral dog population has been under control, and they keeping rabies and stuff really low numbers here. So that's good to find out.
Isn't that a beautiful facility? That has been, I believe that opened last summer, and it is such an enhancement to what we had before. And I know that the animal control officers do a lot of work, good work, and have increased adoptions as well since that facility opened. So we're very proud of that. Well, I'm glad you got to see that, and hopefully you'll get to spend some more time in the other facilities that we have here with the Sheriff's Office. So let's talk a little bit about how you got here in the first place. We were talking before we started the podcast about your majors. So let's, Brandon, why don't you start? If you could talk a little bit about your major, why you picked it, and what brought you here to the Sheriff's Office?
So originally I was a criminal justice major. So I'm actually an Army ROTC cadet at the University of Tampa, and the cadre kind of brought me in and steered me away from that. And they mentioned business, so I kind of was looking around and I picked management. Just it gives an overall business, leadership, and just everyday skills you'll need out there in the workforce. And I thought I definitely want to go into law enforcement, so I thought no better way to come local to start where I basically grew up here in Stafford.
And when we were talking before, you had mentioned that there were two areas you'd like to get into if you did become part of a law enforcement agency. What were those areas?
I would like to get into eventually K-9 and the SWAT team.
Okay. And K-9, what sparked your interest in that?
So as like a little kid, I had a black lab growing up, and I guess every time I would take her on a walk, I would always pretend like she was my K-9, and we'd be doing like search and rescue and stuff like that.
Okay. So you have a little bit of experience in that area, at least from your early childhood. Okay. And so you applied here to the Stafford Sheriff's Office. Where were you when you found out that you got the internship?
I was actually walking back from PT on a Wednesday morning, and I opened my email, and I had a congratulations. So I just knew then, like, I got it. I was pretty ecstatic.
Okay. How about your family and friends? What did your parents think when you told them?
My parents were proud. I mean, my parents and then my uncle's a police officer in Chesapeake, so he was proud to see, like, I'm pursuing what I want to do in life, and he's just, my parents and family and friends are just proud and happy for me. So.
You mentioned your uncle is with Chesapeake. Have you had an opportunity to spend some time with him on the job?
I have. So over Christmas break in January, I was able to do a ride along with him. And that was eye-opening just to see the just array of different calls you can get and how every day is so different. It was amazing.
Okay. And that still, it brings you back here. You're still interested in getting into law enforcement at some point in your career.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Elliot, let's talk about your educational background. Why did you pick your particular major?
Well, I started off as an exercise physiology major my freshman year, and I had a lot of friends around me that were criminal justice or criminology, and I also took one of those career aptitude tests to see kind of what maybe you would like to do and what stuff you might be good at depending on your score and stuff on the test. So I just took that, and one of the categories that came back was criminology. So then I took a general psychology course, and then as well just a general criminology course. And that is really kind of what started me, getting me interested in criminology and law enforcement and everything. And I would also say the professors at my school really helped, because I enjoyed my exercise physiology courses, but I enjoyed my criminology courses a lot more. And the professors in that department at my school are just exceptional, I would say. And I would say that's one of the probably the biggest factors that led me to where I am now.
Okay. Now, you could have applied to an internship with any law enforcement agency across the United States. Why did you pick Stafford County?
Stafford County's given my family a lot over the years, and I know the area well. My family knows the area well, and it's just where I've always been my entire life, where my roots are, and I wanted to be able to hopefully give back to my community one day. So that's basically why I chose here, and that's hopefully why I want to start my career here one day.
Now, where were you when you found out that you had gotten the internship?
I was at school, just in my room at my house, and I was just checking my email like a normal day, and I was hopefully expecting to get an email one day, and I did. I think it was on a Wednesday as well, and I just opened it and saw the congratulations email and just put a big smile on my face, basically, and I was pretty proud of myself, but I was more honored to be able to get selected by this sheriff's office. So. How
about your family? What did your parents think when you told them?
They said it was a very big opportunity and to not mess it up.
Oh, good advice. And Ryan, how about you? Talk about your major and how you picked that major and how you got here to Stafford.
Okay, yeah. So I came from a law enforcement family, and growing up, it's always been a big focus on public service. So I was kind of already oriented towards criminal justice. It's just kind of been my plan from the beginning. As soon as I started college, I pretty much knew what I wanted to do.
Are one of your parents in a law enforcement agency?
Yes, my father works for Homeland Security, but pretty much my whole family's worked for the government, so
okay.
So
public service sort of runs through your veins.
Indeed.
Got it. Okay. Now, why did you pick Stafford to come and intern at?
For a lot of the same reasons Elliot mentioned. It's local, and I've always admired them. They've always been professional whenever I see them in public, so I just wanted to still serve my community.
Okay.
So.
And how about when you found out you received the internship, where were you?
I believe I was at school too, just checking emails after class, and I was really excited to have an experience in real-time law enforcement. So.
And I imagine your family was proud to see that you'd hopefully be carrying on sort of their traditions.
Yeah, they were all excited for me and couldn't wait for me to experience this whole organization.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about what you know about the sheriff's office before you became an intern. You know, we work really hard to get the word out about what we do here. What did you know, Brandon, about the Stafford Sheriff's Office before coming on board?
I knew just from when I got the internship and I was looking into applying for the internship, I was doing more research about this sheriff's office. And I just knew it was the most professional agency I've seen and I've seen out in public. Just the way, from their uniforms, the way they act, the way they communicate with others, it's just very professional, and that's what why I was honored to getting this internship, because it's such a professional department.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Elliot, how about you? What did you learn? I imagine you knew a little bit about the sheriff's office before you applied for the internship.
A lot of it I found out through my father, because he's had some roots in the community here, and he knew I was interested in law enforcement one day, so he told me to actually just go online and check to see if there was an internship that Stafford offered, and sure enough there was. So I just did more research on the website online basically, and eventually applied and came in and talked to some people, and here I am now.
Okay. Ryan, let's talk about what you are most passionate about learning, both personally and professionally, from this experience. Let's talk about, first personally, what do you hope to gain from your internship here?
I'd say first and foremost, just the experience. I think in today's world, it's not just enough having a college degree. You need real experience in your field of work. So I'm excited to get firsthand exposure to the world of law enforcement.
Right. And what about personally? Do you hope that maybe it enhances skills in a personal area of your life, communication skills, something along those lines?
Absolutely.
Okay. How about you, Elliot? What do you hope to gain? What are you most passionate actually about learning, both personally and professionally?
Personally, just this organization here and agency more feels like a family, if anything. It seems like in here that when people come through the doors for work every day, it's not just a job to them. It's more something that they love to do. And I think that's why they're here. And it just seems like that, and I hope I can get that out of it, kind of a family sense, not just coming to work every day, coming to the job you love to do every day.
Okay. Brandon, how about you? What are you most passionate about learning from your experience?
I would say just learning how to be adaptable. I think you have to be adaptable in your life every single day. And I think here it's prevalent all the time. And I would say also like the leadership we can see from just like the chain of command, how it's passed down, and how the deputies out there have leadership. That's what I want to take from it back to school and hopefully use those skills in ROTC.
Okay. I know, Brandon, we talked about what the areas that you were interested in getting into earlier, especially K-9. But Ryan, how about you? I think we had talked a little bit before we went online about your areas of interest, and you had mentioned maybe becoming a detective would be something that you would like to get into.
Yes, I like problem solving and putting together puzzles and stuff, so I think I'd be good in that line of work.
Okay. And what are some of the courses that you're taking right now to help you make progress in that area?
I've taken criminal justice research and writing, which is basically like filing reports and whatnot, and research and writing of different cases in the past, and just studying and evaluating law enforcement responses to any kind of public safety hazards or disruptions.
And you wrote an interesting research paper on an event within recent years that you turned in. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because I thought that was intriguing.
Sure thing, yeah. The Charlottesville protests just a couple years back, I wrote a in-depth research paper on police response and like what could have been different. It was an interesting study to see different viewpoints and how the news reported it and what actually happened in the police reports. So it was a lot of confusion, and I think more communication with the public would have helped de-escalate the situation.
It is interesting, isn't it, to see when you do research like that, what actually is out in the public versus what actually happened among the law enforcement officers on the scene. Okay. And Elliot, how about you? Talk about some of the areas that you might be interested in getting into if you were to take on a law enforcement career.
I would also say I'm interested in hopefully becoming a detective one day. And that's mostly due to my major of criminology, because criminology is more of the psychological reasons why people do things and how they think and everything. And I kind of feel like, as Ryan said, a detective, looks for answers and reasons and puts pieces together and connects the puzzle. And I think that kind of reflects on the major I'm working on right now.
Okay. So it sounds like, Ryan, you had talked about your research skills, and that's some of the skills that you could bring to the sheriff's office. Brandon, what other skills do you think you offer the sheriff's office? I know you've got a little bit of military background with the ROTC, but what are some of the skills that you think you could bring here to enhance the services?
I think communication, the first piece. I mean, in ROTC, it's constant communication up and to back down. Like, I think I have effective communication in that sense, and that I always want to keep learning. I always want to learn about this agency. I want to learn about ROTC. That's just everything. Like, it's a constant. I just want to constantly learn. Like, you always have to constantly learn. So,
and hopefully that will never go away, because you are always learning, no matter what job you're in, no matter how old you get. There's always something new to learn. So hopefully you'll keep that attitude, because that will take you far in life. How about you, Elliot? What do you hope to accomplish during your internship here?
I would hopefully like to accomplish and gain some leadership skills. In some ways, I don't mind being the one to help organize things or take over like a project or something. I might not always be the one to volunteer for it, but if someone asks me to, I have no problem helping kind of get things organized and get the ground running and everything.
Okay. Well, maybe by the end of the internship, you'll be the one out there raising your hand first.
Hopefully.
Ryan, how about you? What would you like to accomplish?
We've been assigned a research project, compiling statistics and whatnot over the last 5 years. So obviously, I'd like to complete that and do the best work possible, but also just to gain experience in the various divisions of Stafford County Sheriff's Office, just to get a look at all the different options there are for specializations and whatnot.
Okay. Now you all are going back to school next month, some mid-August, some late August. What do you think you'll be able to do with your internship experience when you go back? How about you, Ryan?
Just to talk to other people in the same field of study about real-life experience. I think that'll be interesting.
Okay. Elliot?
I would say take everything that I've learned so far and will continue to learn throughout the next few weeks, and just apply it to the classes that I'm taking and any research I have to do, and just life itself.
Elliot just said everything that we're learning and going to learn, just apply it the rest of our college career, and I like to apply it after that as well. So.
Okay. Now let's talk about your goals after graduation. I think some of you are sophomores, juniors, and so you still have a little bit of time left in school. Will we see you back here in Stafford County working for the sheriff's office when you graduate? Go ahead, Brandon.
Possibly. I mean, it depends on ROTC if I decide to go active duty or not. I could end up staying in Florida wherever they assign me, so it kind of depends on that piece, but I would love to come back to Stafford and work here.
Okay. How about you, Elliot?
If I'm given the opportunity, I would most likely end up back in Stafford. I would love to continue to live here and hopefully work here.
Carry on your family's tradition
Yes,
public service here in the community. Okay. And Ryan, how about you?
Absolutely, yeah. I'd love to apply and work here. I plan on doing so, and in my senior year of college, whenever the recommended time to apply is.
Okay. So there you have it. We may be talking to 3 of Stafford County's future deputies. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in today and doing the podcast. Now, if you would like more information on our internship program, you can visit the Stafford County Sheriff's Office website at www.staffordsheriff.com and click on Employment. That wraps up this episode of In the Know with the Stafford SO podcast. Thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful day.
Thank you for listening to In the Know with the Stafford SO. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Additional information about the Stafford Sheriff's Office may be found at staffordsheriff.com.